Good evening and welcome to another midweek Bible study here at New Heights Baptist Church. My name is Pastor Michael Neff. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to spend some time with us as we study God's Word together. I apologize for not being able to go live again tonight. However, I am currently working at the time that this is airing. Thank you so much for spending time with us in the Word. And we're going to get right into it tonight. Psalm 62 this evening, the 62nd Psalm. We see who the psalm was written by in the inscription. It says to the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm of David. And many Bible scholars agree that this was written during the time of David having to vacate the throne at Jerusalem on the run from his son Absalom and kind of gathering his forces, getting ready to fight against his own flesh and blood. Absalom, who of course rose up against his father in rebellion, turned the heart of the people away from following after David and instead subtly worked his way in and turned the hearts of the people toward himself. So David is having a hard time trusting man, and who can blame him? Man is deceitful. Man is difficult to work with sometimes, difficult to trust. And if any person was worthy of our trust, we would consider it to be family. Family should be the people that we can trust the most. Family are the ones that we can go to during times of difficulty. If there's anybody on this earth, any man or woman that we could trust, it should be a member of our own family. But even then, David can't even trust his own family. And so instead of looking around for those he can entrust and put his hope in, he has to simply look up and turn his attention upwards. He says, truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. You put your confidence and trust in a man, they're going to let you down. But David says, my soul is not waiting upon man to save me. It's waiting upon God. And what's interesting there, it says that when he says, my soul waiteth upon the Lord, it means to wait in silence and in stillness. Man, that's something that we don't want to do. A lot of times when we face a time of difficulty or trouble, our first instinct is, oh man, I can't sit around and do nothing. I have to do something. And sometimes that's the enemy feeding those lies to us, saying, hey, you don't need to wait on God. Get up and take care of it yourself. But no, there's a lot of times when God is working, we are having to sit and wait. And we don't want to do that because we are creatures of impulse and we want to get up and make something happen. Whereas God is telling us, hey, wait on me, trust in me. And that's what David is saying. My help is not going to come from any man. My salvation is only going to come from the Lord. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. Now, what's kind of interesting here is that David did have to move from the palaces of Jerusalem, and he has gone into hiding. What he's talking about is not his physical location. He's talking about his spiritual condition. And isn't that interesting? Even though our situation might change and our circumstances might change and our location may change, our God doesn't. And so David's saying, even in the midst of all this inconsistency, I have one thing that is constant in my life, and I shall not be greatly moved because God is my rock and my salvation. I'm not trusting in Joab or Abishai or anybody else to help me, any one of my mighty men. I'm not trusting in my counselors or my advisors or the priests. He says, I am trusting in the Lord. He is my defense. And because I run to the Lord as my defense and place of refuge, I shall not greatly be moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. The Absalom and those who were with him were always imagining mischief against David. They wanted to cause him hurt. They even thought that David was beaten so bad that he was like a wall that was about to fall over, a tottering fence that's just hanging on just by a little bit. And all you have to do is just push it a little bit more and it's going to come crumbling down. They thought that they had beaten David to that point where any advance by them was going to bring David down. And it says they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. Their whole plan and plot was to bring David down from his royal heights and to crush him and destroy him. It says they delight in lies, and isn't that what the enemy does? They don't use honesty and truth to bring Christians down. They use lies and deceit. I mean, there's no pure intentions with them. It's all misdirection and deceitfulness. It says that they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, Selah. And we know that that's a tendency of the wicked. They'll tell you what sweet things with their mouth while they hold a knife to your back. And inwardly they curse you. They're very two-faced. And if that's a hallmark of the wicked, that should not be a characteristic or a trait or quality of the righteous. He says, my soul, and David speaking to himself here, he says, my soul, wait thou only upon God. So it's not, well, I'm going to trust in God, but I'm also going to trust in my own ability. I'm going to trust in God, but I'm also going to trust in my friends and my family. No, you can't trust two different sources. It's either God is everything or man is everything. We talked about this on Sunday. No man can serve two masters. You're either going to be all in with God or all in with yourself in the arm of flesh. But he says, my soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. My hope, my expected outcome is only from him. He says it again. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. Using the same words again as verse number 2, but now he says, I shall not be moved. And it means to be shaken, to be shaken down and destroyed. He says, man, if I'm hiding in God, nobody can touch me. Reminds me of a hymn on the victory side. No fear can harm me, no foe can not me, no fear can harm me on the victory side. With Christ within, the fight will win on the victory side. Why should we worry? Why should we stress? Why should we fret if God is our defense? And if God is our defense, that means we don't have to fight. We don't have to pick up our arms, and we don't have to go to war and go to battle. When God is our defense, he's going to fight the battles for us, and we shall not be moved. In God is my salvation and my glory. Now, I know that this is the Old Testament, but we also have to look at it from an entire biblical standpoint. Salvation only comes from God. It doesn't come from ourselves and from our ability. In God is my salvation and my glory. I can do nothing of myself. I can't do anything on my own. It's only through him and his power and his ability can I accomplish anything. I'm not responsible for my own forgiveness, mercy, and salvation. It only comes from God. It says, he is the rock of my strength and my refuge. It is in God. Trust in him, verse number 8 says, at all times. In the good times, I can trust in God, but you also need to trust God in the bad times too, at all times. Just as God is consistent in our life, so our faith ought to consistently be in him no matter the circumstances that we are facing. David learned this, to not just trust God when times were good, but also to trust God in the times of difficulty as well. Pour out your heart before him. And I know David was doing it, and David's advising the reader to do the same thing. When you're in trouble, trust in him and pour your heart unto him. He is a refuge for us. He is a shelter. We would talk about that song, a shelter in the time of storm. He is a shelter from the rain or from storm or from danger or even from lies and falsehood. It says, surely men of low degree are vanity. And honestly, that's how Absalom had built such a great following. He didn't go after the well-educated and the people of principle. No, he got a bunch of people who were unsettled, unruly, the criminal element there in Jerusalem, and he got those people behind him, those that would be quickly to riot and prone to violence, and he was able to use them to rebel and usurp his father's authority. But he says, those men are vanity. What's interesting here is that that word there for vanity means breath or vapor, literally hot air. They're just full of hot air. They're not good for anything. And he even says men of high degree are a lie. So neither men of high degree or low degree can be trusted in or valued. It says to be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. So even when you take the men of low degree and the men of high degree and you try to balance it out, in the end, they're both empty. They're both vain. They're both of no value to you. David saying Absalom has men of high degree, he has men of low degree, but it's not going to guarantee him victory because God is my defense. He says, trust not in oppression and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Don't use whatever ways and whatever means necessary to get what you want. Because once you have riches, you increase riches, don't set your heart upon them. Why? Because riches are temporal. They're fleeting, and we know this to be true. Money doesn't buy happiness. It doesn't. It never has. And so David's saying, don't put your trust in riches. It says, God hath spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto God. Wealth does not equate power. Possessions do not equate power. Titles do not equate power, equal to power. Power is only from God. And David says, God spoke, and he only spoke it once, but I'm doing more listening than I am speaking. God spoke once, and I heard it twice. It's worth listening to more than once. That power belongs unto God. And because power belongs to God and He is my defense, He is my salvation, that's who I'm going to trust in. Also unto thee, verse number 12, O Lord, belongeth mercy. Isn't that awesome? Not only is God a God of power and righteous judgment, but God is also a God of mercy. God has the power to take us out of this world and send us to what we deserve, to death and hell right away. But God in His infinite mercy, He gives us grace. He gives us mercy, even when we are undeserving of it. In verse number 12, it says, for thou renderest to every man according to his work. God judges, He is a righteous and a fair judge. If one is deserving of judgment, God will give it. But the thing is, if we come to Him in a spirit of humility and we come to Him in faith and ask Him for mercy and forgiveness, God is also not just a God of power and of judgment, but He is a God of mercy. He is a God of strength. He is a God of shelter and a God of refuge for us. And I'm so thankful that David was able to learn this lesson. And even though he is well on up in his years at this particular point of his life, he's still trusting in the same God that gave him victory over the lion and the bear, the same God that gave him the victory over Goliath and over Saul and over all the enemies that came against him, is the God that was going to deliver him once again from the arm of flesh and deliver him once again from men of low and of high degree. Because no matter if they're a person of low or high degree, God is still above them all. It doesn't matter if they have wealth, possessions, and power. How can they really have more power and wealth and prestige than our great God? And so David was able to say this with conviction and with truth. He says, man, I'm not going to worry about anything because my soul waits on God. From Him cometh my salvation. And I love the fact that he said this twice in this psalm. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. Man, when God is on your side and you're walking with the Lord and following His pathways and you're walking in His will, it doesn't matter what comes against you. If God is your defense, if He is your foundation, if He is your shelter, no matter what storms of life may come against you, you will not be moved because God is your hope. God is your defense. God is your rock. God is your refuge. He is our salvation. And because of that, I'm not going to trust in myself. I'm not going to trust in my ability to weather the storm or to stand against the enemy. I'm only going to trust in Him because He alone is my salvation. instead of getting worried and wanting to do something and to hastily make a snap decision, how about we stop and wait upon the Lord as David instructs us to hope in the Lord, not to get all frazzled, not to get worried, not to get concerned, not to run to anybody else or anything else for help, but to truly turn our eyes upward and look for our help from the Lord. I hope and pray that this Bible study out of Psalm 62 was a blessing, help, and encouragement to you. And if there's any way we can be a further help and a blessing to you, please don't hesitate to let us know. We hope to see everybody at our Sunday morning service at 10:30 a.m. at the Pelicano Hall at 11500 Pelicano, Suite A4. We got a lot of big things coming up, and we are excited about what God is going to do this summer. We have Kids Climbing Club this Sunday, and then we just posted on the church band app our VBS that's coming up, and a lot more things coming down the pipeline, different ways for you to connect with your church family and get involved. And of course, I know we don't have our normal prayer request time, but if there's something that you need prayer for, don't hesitate to comment down below, or if you want to share it just privately with the church family, you can do so on the band app, and we will update those prayer requests as well. But pray for one another, pray for the rest of this week that God would get us to Sunday, and pray for God's presence, power, and His moving upon our hearts on Sunday as we come together in worship of Him. Hope you have a blessed rest of your evening, and we'll see you again real soon. Have a great night.